Okay, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think that this eggless chocolate cake recipe is even better than a regular version that does have eggs in it. It is super soft and fluffy, rich in chocolate flavor, and stays moist for days. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 150°C or 300°F with the fan turned on, also known as convection mode, and grease or line 2 8-inch cake tins. As always, I'm using my homemade cake release to grease my tins. It works so well, and my cakes come out perfect every time. Okay, now you just want to set these aside for now, and next we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 330 grams or 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. Give that a good mix with a whisk, and then just set it aside for now. Next, in a large bowl, combine 185 grams or 3/4 cup of full-fat Greek yogurt, make sure it's at room temperature, 400 grams or 2 cups of white granulated sugar, 1 1/4 tablespoons of vanilla, and half a teaspoon of baking soda. And then using a whisk, just give that a good mix and then set it aside for now. By mixing the baking soda and yogurt together, the acid in the yogurt is going to help activate the baking soda, and the baking soda is also going to help neutralize the taste of the yogurt so that you can't taste it once the cake is baked. Okay, now you just want to set this aside for now, and next, in a microwave-safe bowl or jug, combine 113 grams or half a cup of unsalted butter. I do recommend cutting the butter into smaller pieces, otherwise it just takes forever to melt. And then you're also going to add in 130 grams or 2/3 cups of unflavored vegetable oil. I use canola oil. 360 grams or 1.5 cups of full-fat milk, and 2 teaspoons of instant coffee powder. Give that a good mix and then heat in the microwave until everything is fully melted and the mixture is hot to the touch. You can do this over a stovetop too if you prefer. Now once everything is nicely melted, then to the hot mixture we're going to be adding in 77 grams or 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. And what this is going to do is it's going to bloom our cocoa powder and help release more of the flavor from it. Any cocoa powder should be fine, but I do recommend using a Dutch processed cocoa powder. It's going to give you a deeper chocolate flavor and color to your cake. Now once all the cocoa powder is nicely mixed in, it is now time to bring everything together. So grab your yogurt mixture from earlier. It should be slightly frothy by now as well from the baking soda being activated, and to it you want to add in half of your hot milk mixture, and then using a whisk just mix that together until it's well combined. Next, add in half of your pre-mixed dry ingredients from earlier, and again mix with a whisk until it's just combined. Be careful not to overmix it once you've added the flour in, and then add in the remaining hot milk mixture and mix until just combined, and then finish off by adding in the remaining dry ingredients and mix until it's just combined. Again, you don't want to overmix it, so just mix until you can't see any more streaks of flour and the batter is the same consistency throughout. Okay, so that is our batter all done. It smells incredible. And now you just want to evenly distribute it into our 2 pre-prepared cake tins. Once that's done, give your cake tins a light bang on the counter to remove any large air bubbles. And now these are going to go into the oven for 45 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. So my cakes are out of the oven now. They have the most incredible chocolate smell to them. They've been cooling in the cake tins for about 20 minutes. And now I'm just running a thin knife around the edges to release the cakes from the cake tins and turning them out onto a wire rack to completely cool. Now usually if my cake layers bake up pretty flat on the top, I let them cool upside down, but because these cake layers do have a slight dome, I'm letting them cool right side up because while they're still hot, they are very soft, and so I don't want them to break. Now if you take a closer look at the bottom of our cake layers, you can see just how incredibly soft and moist they are. Now while these are cooling, we're going to go ahead and make an incredibly delicious chocolate cream cheese frosting. So begin by placing 225 grams or 1 cup of room temperature unsalted butter in a bowl, and using a hand or stand mixer on a medium speed, mix for a few minutes until the butter is light and fluffy. What this does is it helps to lighten up our frosting and make it more fluffy because we're incorporating air into our butter. Next, you want to add in 570 grams or 4.5 cups of icing sugar, also known as powdered or confectioner's sugar, and you want to do this in 3 batches while mixing on a low speed so that the icing sugar doesn't fly everywhere. And you want to make sure each batch is mixed in well before adding in the next batch. Now, I know this may seem like a lot of icing sugar, but I promise this frosting isn't too sweet. And we're also making a decent amount of frosting, so this batch will completely frost an 8-inch 2-layer cake. Now, once all the icing sugar is mixed in, then our secret ingredient is next, which is 335 grams or 1.5 cups of cold cream cheese. Now, if you've never tried a chocolate cream cheese frosting before, then you are missing out. Trust me, it is so incredibly delicious, and once you try this frosting, you will never go back to regular chocolate frosting. Now, along with the cream cheese, you also want to add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and then give it a mix just until the frosting is nice and smooth. Avoid over-mixing it. And then last but not least, 75 grams or 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. I would recommend using Dutch processed if possible, and I like to kind of fold some of my frosting over the cocoa powder so that it doesn't go everywhere when I start to mix. And then you just want to mix that all together until just combined. Again, do not overmix because the more you mix, the more the liquid in the cream cheese will dissolve the icing sugar, which means the runnier your frosting is going to become. Okay, and that is literally it. You are left with the most incredibly delicious chocolate cream cheese frosting. So my cake layers are cooled down now, so we are ready to start stacking this cake. So I'm starting off by trimming off the little dome on the top of my cake layers so that they're nice and flat. Don't chuck the tops away, they are so delicious, so either just eat them or you can turn them into cake pops too. Next, I'm placing my first cake layer onto my cake stand and spreading out a layer of frosting using my offset spatula. Once that's done, my next cake layer goes on top, and then I'm just spreading another layer of frosting on the top and all around the sides of the cake. And then I'm also using my cake scraper to smooth out the edges. Once the sides are smoothed out, I'm just using my offset spatula to bring that top lip of frosting into the middle of the cake to give me some nice sharp edges. And then to finish off, I'm just doing some piping on the top with a 1M star piping tip. Now, I ran out of piping bags, so I'm just using a sandwich bag as my piping bag. It was a little bit harder, but yeah, it still got the job done. Okay, and that is it. My eggless chocolate cake is all done. Now, when I say that you cannot tell the difference between this chocolate cake and a regular chocolate cake that does have eggs in it, I honestly 100% mean it. It is so soft and moist and is just full of rich chocolate flavor. It's honestly so good. The cake layers are so incredibly soft and fudgy and full of chocolate flavor, and honestly, I am telling you, this is probably one of my favorite chocolate cakes, even more than a regular chocolate cake that does have eggs in it. It's so good. So that is it, guys. If you do decide to give this eggless chocolate cake recipe a go, then please do leave a review on my blog. It honestly really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.